Hello, everyone. Welcome to Yin Yoga with me, Kayla. Welcome to my channel. And today we are going to be doing a Yin practice focused on opening the heart in honor of Friendship Day, Valentine's Day, in honor of February being a month that just sort of is a time I feel like we can settle in after the rush of the holidays and sort of I live in the Midwest where it's kind of cold and dark. February kind of seems to bring a sense of hope, a sense of turning the corner, but also we still seek to find rest. So we'll do that in today's practice. The one thing that we'll need is a towel for our first posture. We'll be doing a reclined or a chest opener, supine chest opener. So you can take just a bath towel and you can fold it in half, or if you have a yogi blanket, you can feel free to use that as well. But just a regular towel works. You can fold it up in a roll, and then we'll use that for our first posture. So as we begin, you can place your hands on your knees. Begin to settle your breath, maybe rolling your shoulders, drawing your chest open, maybe releasing any tension you feel anywhere in your body. You might choose to roll your neck. You might choose to take your gaze toward the floor, close your eyes. In any case, I just invite you to let your breath settle and arrive. Let anything from the day, or if you're doing this in the morning from yesterday, just sort of melt away. And just arrive here on your mat. I invite you to think of an intention for today's practice. What was it that brought you to your mat? And if nothing comes to mind immediately, I invite you to consider the intention of kindness. Kindness to yourself in this practice. Allowing yourself to feel both ease and tension together. Kindness to yourself off the mat, and kindness to others. In this season of love, in a time when many of us need it deeply. I invite you to center yourself in your own way for the next 30 seconds or so. And then as you're ready, you can begin to come back to the room. Maybe begin by rolling your shoulders first, maybe fluttering your eyes open. And then as you're ready, you can reach for that towel. And it doesn't have to be this big. Excuse me, you can sort of keep it larger if you want more openness through your spine. I'll show you here. Or you can sort of unroll it if you have a thick towel and keep the roll a little smaller. But wherever you land, you'll want the towel to be right under your shoulder blades and right sort of in line with your armpits. So you'll roll back onto your towel, rolling your head back onto the floor, allowing your shoulders to melt, allowing your feet to melt open. Maybe taking your arms in a T, maybe taking your arms in goalposts. Just allowing your chest to open, allowing yourself to invite in whatever intention it was that you set for yourself at the beginning of class. Breathing in 2 or 3 more times. And then as you're ready, you can begin to make your way out of this posture slowly. Maybe bringing your feet to the floor and coming over into a fetal position before coming up to hands and knees for cat-cow. Placing your hands, you can go ahead and remove that towel. Placing your hands, your wrists under your shoulders, your knees generally under your hips, tops of your feet on the floor. You can begin to make your way through your version of cat-cow, dropping your tailbone, drawing your nose toward the floor, rounding through your spine. For cat, dropping the belly, lifting the tailbone, raising your nose toward the ceiling. For cow. And then rolling through a few more rounds of cat and cow, maybe taking spinal stretches to the side, finding whatever movement feels good in your body. Your lower back, stretching your spine, maybe rolling like a barrel to the right, to the left. And then when you're ready, we'll come down into a posture known as broken wing. So you can come all the way down onto your belly. Placing your left arm out to a T, and then taking your right hand as sort of a kickstand and opening your chest, pressing your chest open. Maybe bringing your hand in a little bit towards your body. And then once you get on the side of your body, you can bring that right leg over. If your body allows, Or you can keep your knee on the floor, opening through your chest. You can hover your head, or if it feels better, you can let your head rest on the floor, or if a block or a pillow if you have it. For a deeper intensity, you can go ahead and come over to the other side, or excuse me, you can go ahead and bring your hand behind your back, bringing your right foot behind your left knee. Breathing into the places where you feel sensation. When you're ready, we'll come back to center by unwinding your right arm, using that kickstand to allow your chest to fall toward the earth, bringing your right leg around toward the floor. Taking a moment here in crocodile posture, placing your hands on top of one another, placing your forehead on your hand, allowing your shoulders to melt. Taking a moment to relax here. When you're ready, we'll move into broken wing on the other side. So we'll take that right arm out this time, taking that left hand, and then we'll open the chest by moving the opposite direction. Maybe taking that top leg, placing it behind. Maybe placing your head on the floor, maybe a block. Maybe taking that left hand and opening it around toward your hip. Bringing that left hand, around, bringing it into a kickstand position, allowing your chest to come back to the floor. This time, bringing both of your hands in towards center, coming up onto your forearms, allowing the tops of your feet to come behind you to begin. Maybe taking your elbows an inch in front of your shoulders, rooting your hands down into the earth, into Sphinx posture. You can open your chest. You can stay here. You can move down into crocodile with your hands on top of one another like we were in before if this Sphinx posture is uncomfortable. You can also take your feet and place the inner line of your foot on the floor if that is more comfortable. You can have your legs as far apart or close together as feels right for your body, for your hips. And if this feels good and you'd like some added intensity, you can go ahead and press into your palms. And try not to squeeze your glutes in the process. Do not overstress your lower back, but press up into your palms if that feels good. That feels like that sort of intensity that you would be hoping for through your lower back. Through your belly, even. As we're opening both through the front and back body in this posture. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and on your next inhale, make our way out of this posture by coming back through hands and knees. So placing, again, both of your hands under each of your shoulders, placing your feet on top of the floor. And again, maybe moving through cat-cow. This time, I'll move my spine in some C shapes. And a rebound posture. And then we'll go ahead and we'll come into low dragon. So you can take that left leg and place it to the front of your mat, taking your ankle underneath your knee. And you can decide how far back that right knee goes. The further back it goes, the more intense the stretch is. You can flip that top foot down toward the earth. You can keep your chest on your thigh and allow your body to melt into the posture through your hips. Breathing in, breathing out. And then as you're ready on your next inhale, you can begin to make your way out of this posture toward half Hanuman, runner's stretch. Maybe putting your foot a little, heel a little further forward on your mat, allowing your ankle to relax, keeping your back straight. And then as feels good, you can begin to allow your chest to melt toward your thigh, keeping in mind that with Yin Yoga, we're always just sort of looking for a 3 or 4 out of 10 for intensity. And then as you're ready, you can begin to make your way out of this posture. Maybe it's easier to take that left hand on the inside, heel toe your left foot back toward your right knee. Maybe swaying your hips from side to side. Maybe coming down into a brief child's pose. Wherever you've landed, just take a few moments to move your body in between these sides, and we'll go ahead and come into dragon, this time with your right foot forward. Placing your right ankle under your right knee. And then again, as before, adjusting that back knee further back if you would like more intensity, closer in if you're looking for a little bit less intensity. And then allowing your body to drop into the posture, feeling that front line of your left leg through your hip flexors, allowing your chest to rest on your thigh if that feels good, maybe drawing your nose toward the floor. But feel free to avoid that if it bothers your neck. Leaning onto your thigh can release some pressure in your shoulders to take some of the weight out of your shoulders. Didn't mention this before, but if you do have blocks nearby, those are always helpful to have under your hands. But they're not necessarily needed. When you're ready on your next inhale, you can begin to come out of this posture, moving into half Hanuman on your right side this time. Maybe inching that right heel forward, and then allowing your foot to relax. Keeping your back straight once again, your spine straight. If it feels good, you can stay here. Or if you'd like to, you can begin to melt your chest toward your thigh. Using your breath to open the muscles, the fascia. And as you're ready, go ahead and this time come out of the posture, inching that right knee back to the left, bringing your knees out to the outside of your mat, your toes together behind you, dropping your hips to your heels, stretching your arms in front of you as if they're shooting out of your shoulders, coming down into child's pose. Maybe taking your forehead to the floor, maybe rocking it back and forth. Nowhere to be but right here. Sometimes it can feel good to stay in child's pose, so if it does, feel free to stay. Otherwise, make your way back up towards seated, and we'll be moving into fire log pose. This is where if you do happen to have a pillow nearby, you could use one, but if not, no worries. So if you have really tight hips and this posture feels good, you can feel free to just stay here. We'll start with right in front of left. And so if you feel an opening through your hips, just simply by having your right ankle on top of your left, you can stay here. Or you can move a little bit deeper into fire log, taking your right ankle over your left knee, and then your right knee over your left ankle. Staying here, you can remain seated, shining your head tall. Or if you'd like, you can begin to make your way into a forward fold in this position by gently placing your hands on the floor and inching your hands forward. This is where, if you had a pillow, you could have it between your chest and your legs. And with Yin, it's always yogi's choice. Many postures can be done with or without props. The more props we use, the more restorative and supported the postures can feel. And it's always really important to make sure that you listen to your body and check in with how you're doing, responding and honoring where you're at today in this moment. Taking 2 or 3 more deep breaths here. And as you're ready, making your way out of this posture, pressing into the earth, walking your hands back toward the center of your body, rolling your shoulders back, maybe rebounding by placing your feet on the earth, coming into windshield wiper pose, opening through those hips. And then we'll move into fire log on the opposite side. So again, taking your left foot in front this time, maybe just staying here, or taking your left ankle over your right knee, your left knee over your right ankle. Turning your head tall, rolling your shoulders back, relaxing through your hips. Staying here if this feels right. Here's another place where maybe a block or even a towel, since we have one nearby, just placing it here if it's too intense for your hips. Walking forward, one hand after the other, slowly toward the floor, maybe keeping your forearms on your legs. Maybe rolling your nose toward the carpet, toward the floor. Here's where you may notice a big difference from side to side. Just paying attention to what your body is telling you. Always allowing yourself to become 1% more comfortable. as you're ready. On your next inhale, you can begin to make your way out of the posture. We'll make our way down to our backs for supine twist. So starting here with your feet on the earth, you can bring your knees up toward your chest. Bring your arms out at a T and allow your knees to drop over to the right. Maybe taking your right hand, placing on your left knee. Maybe taking your gaze opposite your knees. Allowing your left shoulder to melt toward the earth. Using this as a time to really practice breathing into your ribs. Using your diaphragm to take really deep breaths. As you're ready, you can come back to center, bringing your knees in toward your center line, placing them on the earth, lifting your your hips up. Maybe stretching your heels tall, rolling through your ankles. Bringing them back down toward the earth. Lifting your hips up and toward the right this time, bringing your knees in toward your chest. Taking your arms out at a T. And then allowing your knees to drop toward your left. Again, options to take your left hand on your right knee. Take your gaze opposite your knees. Allowing that right shoulder to melt open. Noticing what feels the same or different from side to side. Breathing deeply into your ribcage. gently making your way back to center. You can begin to make your way toward your version of final rest. So if you have any layers nearby or a pillow, I have my weighted blanket this evening. For me, it's evening. If you have anything to put under your knees, let's go ahead, get yourself cozy, lying on the earth and taking up as much space as you need, arms wide, legs wide. Maybe your feet are on the mat with your knees coming together, whatever feels comfortable. Just take a moment. I invite you to stay here, allowing ourselves to end practice in peace together. Giving yourself just 1 second to bring your intention from the beginning of class back to your mind. And I remind you of the intention of kindness. We'll stay here for just a few more brief moments. Allow yourself to fully melt into the floor. Welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like. Or when you're ready, you can begin to stretch your fingers long, toes long, and come over into a fetal position. Eventually making your way back toward seated. Maybe once again, as we began together, placing your hands on your knees. I invite you to take one more deep breath together, stretching your hands out to the sides, bringing your hands together above your head, bringing your thumbs in toward your heart. Breathing in kindness, breathing out love. Teacher in me honors the teacher in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to find out more about my videos. Namaste.